Hey guys, welcome back to the C Gap. It is Saturday, so in this episode we're going to be giving you a recap of the Thursday night game, Bengals at Browns, which was a pretty good game. I was actually surprised. And then we're going to be going over the news and notes for most of the games or every game for Sunday. So let's get into it. Let's first go over my lineup for the Thursday game. I just did a showdown, captain showdown mode. I had CJ Uzoma as my captain, who unfortunately got hurt in the fourth quarter or third quarter, one of the two, I forget. But he had 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown, and then he got hurt, and then Drew Sample had like 4 catches in the fourth quarter. So that kind of just screwed me. And then I played Joe Burrow. He had a great game. Baker looked pretty good.
Decent.
Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the NFL, even though Cincinnati sucks on defense. But Nick Chubb's really good at football.
Good.
Tyler Boyd. And then Austin Hooper is just going to be a disappointment all year. So don't play Austin Hooper.
Yep.
He's just a disappointment on that team. Baker doesn't throw to tight ends. All right. So now we're going to get into the
Week 2
injuries.
We'll start with the Minnesota Vikings at the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see. Only notes for the Vikings, Cameron Dantzler, cornerback, is out. Pretty healthy, the Vikings. One of the more healthy teams in the NFL at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's see. Colts. Probably the biggest one is Jack Doyle. He's out, the tight end. Colts are pretty thin at tight end, so you'll probably see a lot of 3 to 4 wide receiver sets for the Colts.
Yeah, I think that's going to open up a lot of spots for Paris Campbell this week. Someone who is only 4,500 in DraftKings. I think he's a really good value play this week if you want to have a lower value tight end and really pay up at another position or pay up at receiver itself to get Devontae Adams, who is just going to be an absolute target monster this season. So if you want to go Paris Campbell, I think that's probably the best receiver to go with in Indianapolis right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to out-target T.Y.
Maybe Michael Pittman in the red zone because Jack Doyle's out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 3 pretty good receivers there. I like Campbell as low value guy.
And then still Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor on my 5,700 on DraftKings. He's the number one guy. He's going to – we saw last week he did well in the passing game too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Naheem Hines is pretty much Tariq Cohen.
Right. Yeah, no, he's very, very good.
Jonathan Taylor's going to get third down work too. So I think Jonathan Taylor's a great play at 5,700.
Moving on to the New York Giants and the Bears. Not much. Golden Tate's questionable. That could be interesting. Darius Slayton. We talked about him last week.
He's probably the main person who benefits from Tate being out, as Tate likes to work in the slot. But even if Tate's there, I still think Slayton at 5,000 in DraftKings. I think he's still a good play. I mean, as we said, before the week we said how he was the highest scorer in touchdowns, and then he came out and scored 2 touchdowns. So I think Darius Slayton's a fine play in any week. Daniel Jones loves him. Not a lot on the Bears side.
Nothing for the Bears.
Khalil Mack was limited, but he's probably going to play. Robert Quinn had an ankle injury all week. He is full participated on Friday. He is going to play. So could be another rough day for Saquon. But I expect him to do much better. The Bears are not nearly as good as the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, pretty quiet there. All right, so Rams and your Eagles.
The Rams have no injuries, and then you look at the Eagles, and they are just banged up. But it seems like everyone on the report's going to play, except for Alshon, which is probably beneficial for the Eagles.
Definitely.
Because Alshon Jeffrey, I do not like you. You need to be traded. Brandon Graham, concussion, he participated fully on Friday, and he's questionable. I expect him to play. I think Doug Peterson said that him and Derek Barnett were both going to try to play. Barnett was dealing with a hamstring injury all week from the game on Sunday, but he participated in the full on Friday, as did Deshaun Jackson and Jason Peters. I don't know what they're going to do with that line. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just going to be
We'll see where they're going to be at, but I expect the Eagles to do a lot better this week. Miles Sanders, first game, I think he's going to have a great day against the Rams. So I am optimistic for the Eagles this week against the Rams at home.
Yeah, looking good for the Eagles. Hopefully, mine's going to get back on track. So Jacksonville Jaguars at the Titans. The biggest one for that is definitely A.J. Brown.
Yeah, A.J. Brown being out, We saw Corey Davis last week had a really good game. This could open up a lot more for Jonnu, even in a game where I don't think the Titans are going to be passing too much. I think this is just going to be a classic Derrick Henry 200-yard rushing game.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are anticipating that on DraftKings. But then a good punt play at wide receiver this week is going to be Adam Humphries. He's in the mid, I think he's 3,400 on DraftKings, and that probably the lowest play that you could go with on DraftKings at wide receiver this week. And as someone who had 67 yards last week, so Tannehill loves those short play action routes.
Yeah.
And that's all Humphries runs.
Yeah.
And Humphries is going to be the number 2 receiver this week, even in the slot.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to go that route, pay up to get Devontae and then pay up at another position. I think going with Adam Humphries this week is a fine play. But Corey Davis, also 4,000, is a really good play as well.
Yeah, he'll play in that A.J. Brown role for sure. He'll slide to number 1. Denver Broncos at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Boye didn't practice.
Yeah, Boye didn't practice.
I don't know if that is just precautionary or they just gave him rest or so. Take a look. Stay updated on the A.J. Boye injury. That could mean a lot for Deontay and Juju.
Steelers,
and Juju.
A lot of,
even though Boye probably wouldn't be on Juju as much unless he just wants to shadow him,
right.
which I don't think he will. But keep a look on that.
And then the other one was Philip Lindsay. So Melvin Gordon's the number 1.
Melvin Gordon's going to be touching the ball a lot, which to me means absolutely nothing against this Steelers defense. It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that front seven, it's a not very good offensive line.
If Saquon isn't doing anything against the Steelers, Melvin Gordon
definitely
as hell isn't doing anything against the Steelers either. So, and then Cortland Sutton, limited on Friday. He's still questionable. Keep looking at that. Even with Jake Butt being back, I still think Noah Fant is going to be the most targeted player in this offense.
Totally.
Also, Tim Patrick and Deshaun Hamilton. I don't think they're great receivers, but who else is he throwing to?
Jared Judy.
He could have a lot of targets this week as well.
I just think that D-line of the Steelers will get
And
out.
their secondary is phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of the best in the league. So I would fade everyone on the Broncos offense, especially Drew Lock, going to have a very tough day.
Yeah.
So stay away from them.
Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. For my Bills, Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano are both out. Their top 2 linebackers.
Yeah.
Maybe you could go cheap Matt Breida, Jordan Howard play.
Yeah.
Maybe Bills D-line's still good.
They said I think they're going to try to give Gaskin the ball.
That's right.
I don't. Gaskin was someone who came out last year and kind of did okay, but I just don't like Dolphins. Yeah. The only Dolphin I'd play this week, if Devontae Parker plays, is Preston Williams. If Devontae Parker plays and he draws Byron Jones, play Preston Williams. If you want to do a game stack of the Bills with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and John Brown, or if you want to go with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary, one or the other, or both, that's fine. But if you want to run it back with Preston Williams, not Devontae Parker. He's going to get shut out by Byron Jones. Yeah. Similar to what Marshawn Lattimore does to Chris Godwin twice a year.
Yeah, definitely. Anything on the Dolphins here? Nothing really.
Not much on the Dolphins. Just keep an eye on the Devontae injury. That's pretty much it.
Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Banged up offensive line for the Packers.
Yeah, and no Trufant.
Yeah.
No Trufant for the Lions, which means even more.
Rookie Jeff Okudah
is going to be on Devontae Adams.
It could be a rough.
Devontae Adams is going to give him a great welcome to the NFL with 15 catches and 150 yards again. So, I just expect the Packers to dominate them. Stafford could throw for 300 yards in this game, so if you want to play Stafford and maybe keep an eye on the Galladay injury, Galladay's out.
Marvin Jones.
So that's more Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
I don't really like Marvin Jones in fantasy. He either has 4 touchdowns or he has nothing.
Or Hawkinson again. You played Hawkinson.
Hawkinson was a great play, but he did move up in price this week, which was not great. Yeah, but I think Hawkinson's still a good play this week. He's one of the higher priced tight ends this week, other than the elite 3 or 4. But I mean, Hawkinson's still a great play at 5,200. Yeah. So if you want to go with Hawkinson, that's fine. I think that's the only person that Stafford really wants to throw to outside of Marvin Jones.
Right.
I don't really like Danny Amendola.
Carolina Panthers at the Buccaneers. We know how you feel about the Carolina Panthers defense.
I wasn't wrong.
No,
I was not wrong. They're really bad, guys.
Yeah,
they're really bad. Play Ronald Jones.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin's out.
Chris Godwin's out. Mike Evans is a really good play.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to get risky and go with the small white boy,
Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller is
Nice
a
play.
fantastic play at 4,100 in DraftKings this week. Even if you want to go with Justin Watson as well, I think that's fine at 3,500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to do a game stack with Brady, honestly, Brady, Ronald Jones, Miller, and Mike Evans, I think that's fine, and run it back with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if you want to run it back with DJ Moore as well, I think that's fine.
Yep. Buccaneers have underrated defense. So.
They do, and Sue did not participate, but I think that was precautionary. I expect him to play
Definitely.
on Sunday, so McCaffrey might not see a lot of space in the running game, but I mean, he's still McCaffrey. He's still going to get upwards of 25 fantasy points. He's going to get his touches every game.
San Francisco 49ers at the Jets. I think one of our favorite plays of the week is Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed is my favorite tight end play this week. As he mentioned in our first episode, keep an eye on the Kittle injury.
Yep.
Jordan Reed, when healthy in the past, has been one of the best tight ends in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's very athletic. He runs great routes. He can catch the ball, and he can make plays after the catch. I think Jordan Reed at 2,600 this week is the best value play you can have at tight end besides Logan Thomas for 3,600 for the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm. Jets, I think the big one is Jamison Crowder out.
Yeah.
Rashad Perriman.
Sam Darnold, man, I feel bad for the dude.
Yeah.
He plays good teams, and he just does not have anything on offense. Le'Veon's out on IR. His starting running back is
Frank Gore.
a fossil of Frank Gore. I no disrespect to Frank Gore. I love Frank Gore, but he's what?
36 something.
He's not a good number one running back to have on your team.
He's got a kid in college. I think that speaks for itself.
I mean, Rashad Perriman's my favorite play in this game.
Yeah.
3,800 against it. They might go up big, and then
Richard
Darnold's
Sherman,
going to just be throwing like he did last week against the Bills.
Yeah, banged up secondary.
No Sherman, so I mean,
Jason Verrett.
Perriman's going to be on Akello Witherspoon.
Yeah, I'd take Perriman in that matchup.
I take Perriman in that matchup too. Someone who's actually, I think, very underrated at running back. So we'll see how that one plays out for me.
Atlanta Falcons at the Dallas Cowboys.
This game's going to shoot out.
Definitely.
The over-under, I think, is 50. And
I'd take the over.
I'd take the over.
Two not so great secondaries, a lot of weapons on both teams.
Not a lot of injuries on this, but Amari Cooper at home.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Amari Cooper at home. Game stack this. Don't ask who to game stack. You play everyone.
Yeah.
Just play everyone. This game's going to shoot out.
That'll be definitely a fun game.
All right, moving to the 4 o'clock games. Washington at Arizona. Kyler Murray is one of my favorite quarterback plays this week. He's just going to run all over them.
Yeah, good front seven for the Redskins. They'll get pressure, and Kyler could scramble. And
he could have. Last week he had 97 rush yards.
Yeah.
Or 90, and I totally
expect good front seven.
Totally expect him to do the same thing this week. D Hop is also a great matchup. Great matchup this week on a. They don't have a secondary.
Yeah.
The Redskins, the football team does not have a secondary.
Baltimore Ravens at the Houston Texans.
Not a lot of injuries here. Keep an eye on Ronnie Stanley. That's pretty much the main one. He's questionable with a hip injury, but he participated in full on Friday. So that means the Ravens line should be ready to go. Lamar's going to destroy.
Yep.
Duke Johnson, questionable. Keep an eye on this. If Duke Johnson does not play, David Johnson will see upwards of 25 touches in this game,
easily,
whether it's on the ground or through the air. We saw David Johnson have a very good game last week, so I think without Duke Johnson, David Johnson could be a really good play this week.
Kansas City Chiefs at the LA Chargers. Pretty quiet on the big injury front.
Justin Jackson's out this week.
Yeah, so more Josh Kelly.
More Josh Kelly, possibly more Eckler. I'd like to see if they make any changes and try to get Eckler more in the pass game. He had 1 reception last week, and at 6,500 this week,
it's pretty expensive.
It for a running back that's only going to get the ball.
Yeah.
He had 15 carries, but he had 1 catch. He had 16 touches. For that price, you need him getting. When you can go to Jonathan Taylor for 5,700, who I think is going to have upwards of 20 carries.
Easily. Yeah.
Considering Nyheim Hines isn't carrying the ball. he's going to have 20-something carries. I think there's much better plays than Austin Eckler this week.
Yep.
For value.
We got New England Patriots at the Seattle Seahawks. That's an interesting game.
The night game this week, so we'll see how we do with the night game. What I want to do with that? Probably another Captain Showdown. But don't like a lot of people on the Patriots, but Cam Newton is back. So I think Cam Newton's your main play in this game. On the Patriots side, if you want to game stack with Cam on the Patriots side, I'm not sure who you game stack with. Maybe N'Keal Harry. I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. If you're game stacking, it's going to be on the Seahawks side. If you're playing someone in this game, it's going to be on the Seahawks side. Russell Wilson's the best quarterback in the NFL. I think he's the best player in the NFL. I think he deserves MVP almost every year.
Yeah, Seahawks got some weapons. I mean, good weapons for the Seahawks against a good secondary for the Patriots. Don't love anyone in that game.
Don't love DK.
Yeah.
I think Lockett's your guy this week. Lockett's DK's going to see Stephon Gilmore.
Probably, yeah.
Every play. And because Gilmore doesn't really go in the slot. And I think Lockett could feast against that defense. I don't like Stephon Gilmore. I don't like the Stephon Gilmore DK Metcalf matchup. So stay away from him. All Lockett this week. And that's it for that game.
And the last one, New Orleans Saints at the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh Jacobs again, I think, right? I mean, he was good last week.
Yeah. I mean, Ronald Jones did well against the Saints last week in a low-scoring game, which was very surprising. But no Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
I still don't like Emmanuel Sanders that much. But against this defense, just take a shot. Drew Brees is going to be fine. If you want to go with Ruggs, I think that's fine. Depending on if he sees Lattimore or not.
That's true.
We'll see about that. But I like all Saints players in this game. I like Josh Jacobs. I like Darren Waller.
Yeah.
I like Darren Waller in any game. I mean, he can definitely have 6 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown, or just 6 catches for 80 yards. That's your 14 fantasy points right there. He's probably going to get 10 targets a game.
Yeah.
So
Gruden will make it interesting, as he always does.
So that's it for the injury news and notes. Stay tuned on Sunday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you.